Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is January 3rd, 2020, Friday. Yay, it's Van Halen Friday, man. What's going on? The show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use your own risk. This show is copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without my written consent. Or you could just ask. Finally, show is opinionated. Sure it is. It's a big word. Opinionated. Under no circumstances whatsoever should opinions be taken as advice if you are seeking professional advice. Strongly encourage you to hire a license if required. Person in his or her field, little Tommy. Hey man. No. That's his name, broadcasting live from the lovely little, wonderful, cute town of Loveland, Colorado. Whatever. Mom, mountains, whatever. People don't know how to drive and use roundabouts and fucking whatever else. So yeah, today it's Friday. My video's not working, and getting into it. Start. No. Could not access the specified channel or stream key. Yeah, I ain't fucking around with that shit again. Not now. I don't know what the hell happened. I think, I don't know, let me look. Settings. Stream, general stream. Yeah, it's still there. I didn't change the fucking thing. What? How rude. I don't like computers. The stream key's no bueno. It's not gonna work, oh. I'm a fucking pissed off, oh. But I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Okay, I'll wait. Go ahead and fix it. I'll wait till the video works. I can't listen here. You know, I'm a multi-million-dollar personality here. And if my shit don't work, that's not my fault. So I'm just going to sit here and wait till you people can fix your shit, okay? I'll be waiting. Is it fixed? Let me look. Let's see, it's fixed out. La 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 la. Start. Oh, you know what though? Okay. So I can record, which means I can throw it onto YouTube, but I can't stream. Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. Okay, so I'll do half a show today because half of my shit's working. Is that fair? Okay. So how's it going? It's Van Halen Friday. I don't know what's going on. I never do, really. Yes, what? What's yes? Yes, I could do a half a show? Okay. I need some more coffee here. This coffee tastes like shit. It is shit, Austin. Oh, then it's not just me, is it? Okay. Guess what? Hello? Hello, is this working? Please stand by. Yes, you can record. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I need to talk to you about that, though, Melissa, because every time I do that, our accounts mix. Again, we can talk. I don't know, we can talk about it on live. I don't really care. But for me to do that, to sign into your YouTube, then it mixes my Gmail account with your YouTube Gmail account because I saw your email about the Zoom mixer, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So we got to fix that. So I deleted your account off of my account, but every time I got to go upload a video, I have to sign in your YouTube account. It's a pain in the ass. What is this? Aggravating computer shit day? Okay. Later. Okay. Well, I'll do it later then. Okay. So the show must go on. I'm getting hotter than shit again, but I really think it's because of the coffee. So anyway, did anybody in the chat room? No, of course not. Except Melissa, the gatekeeper for people that are being naughty. Okay, well, just in my defense, the video is not going to be, I don't know. How long has it been recording? I'm not familiar with this software yet. Oh, it's been recording for 10 minutes. What does Spreaker say? Does Spreaker still work? Oh, that's because I'm not streaming. So that proves right there it's a bandwidth issue. 9 minutes. So I have been recording the entire show. Wow. I meant to do that. Right. Sure you did. Yes, I did. Because I'm a professional. Professional. Fuck up. Asshole. Okay. What? Hello? La 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 la. Somebody said something. Yeah, Spreaker will work, but it's working because I'm not broadcasting, streaming video, which eats up the bandwidth. But let's see. If Spreaker goes all the way through here, then that's definitely the problem. What? Wow, that Messenger is really delayed on my phone. Yep. Okay. So, did anybody besides me feel a high level of energy yesterday? Because I sure did. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. And I wasn't on drugs. I was actually working. Not that it has anything to do with it, but don't do drugs. But there was some excitement in the air. I don't know. 2020 is going to be a crazy year. And I put that on Facebook, and everybody's like, no, it's gonna be a great year. Whatever. I'm not saying nothing negative. Although crazy really isn't positive. It's just going to be unpredictable, chaotic, out of control, crazy. I didn't say batshit crazy. I said crazy. It's just going to be, it's going to be unpredictable, one day at a time, and every day we come closer to the remember. What is that? The 6th? The 6th of November. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fucking crazy. Crazy. Okay, so Marissa, how are you today? Grasshopper, would you like to call and we talk about the hemp? Where can we smoke it some more? We killed that yesterday. I saw the state of Illinois sold over $3 million in marijuana. Really? Wow. So what's 10% of 3 million? Is that 30? Or is that 300? It's 300, ain't it? Yeah. 300 mil? Well, what's 3? 30% of 3 is 9. $900,000 in fucking taxes minimum. They're going to love that shit. Hello? Hello, me taking your order now. I cannot find the fucking phone. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you awake?
I'm tired of these tech issues. I'm tired of tech issues.
I could tell by your tone right off the bat that you're either tired or you're fed up or both. So
I'm irritated.
and irritated and pissed off, and this job fucking sucks, and my job sucks too because nothing works, and it's all your fault, Melissa. No, I'm just kidding. I know how it feels.
I don't get paid enough for this.
I don't either. Trust me, I get it. I did all the computers at my business for over 20 years. I self-taught myself when Windows went from 3.11 to 95 and upgraded optical drives, RAM, hard drives, blah, 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 and networked everything at my shop. I get it. I mean, half of it's figuring it out, and then the other half of it is getting it to work all the time. I get it.
Right?
Trust me. Yeah, I get it. I really do.
Life of a techie.
I know. and then it's not your fault.
Let's talk about better subjects.
Well, I'm just saying really quick, and it's saying the key isn't good anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? And I went in there. I didn't change nothing. So it's like, you know what? I'm not going to let it stop me or irritate me.
It has to do something with the free trial that we use to test everything.
Oh.
And the paid account.
Got it.
So
it's not free. You got to pay for it. Yeah. Well, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if it said your trial time is expired. Would you like to upgrade or some shit? But whatever.
No, I already paid for it. I already paid for it yesterday.
Oh, so you have a different key for me to enter.
So I'm going to deal with their tech support once we're done.
Yeah, wonderful. Did they give you a different key that I got to enter, or do you even know?
No.
No? Okay,
no.
Well, can you please tell them to go fuck themselves and they ruined my day? No?
I'm probably going to tell them to go fuck themselves because they ruined my day.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I woke up to that.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm just so you know, I'm always the first one, regardless of if it's my job, this, whatever, to have problems with anything. And then you always hear, well, I never heard that before. I don't give a flying fuck if you heard it before or not. It's happening, and you're going to hear from what?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm notorious for that same thing. If there's going to be a glitch in somebody's programming, it's guaranteed I will find it.
Right. Well, that's what happens to me. So just, if it doesn't happen to you first, it'll happen to me. So between the both of us, it'll happen. So there you go.
Hey, well, between us, we'll get all the tech stuff fixed then.
Well, I think we will, because we figured the video thing out within an hour. I don't think that was bad, So
right, it was great.
Yeah, so like I said, I know enough to be dangerous configuring, and I play guitar, and I play with gizmos, and I've always been very my talents lie in fixing things and taking them apart and how they work and make them better and blah blah blah. So and like I said, I've had my head in computers, software to hardware. I'm not an expert or an IT person by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know enough. Like, if you tell me to do something, I can do it. So it's not a big deal. So
you can at least follow the instructions of somebody who knows more.
Yeah, it's like, how do I change my sound settings? Go to sound settings. Where's that? I was like, I know. I feel like it's fucking crazy. Ugh.
So. That little speaker-looking dealie.
Yeah. Well, I just type it in the search box now, and then it pops up. Because Windows has come so far. I don't think it's come as far as it should, but it's definitely come a long way from 3.1, no doubt. So.
Oh, my, yes.
Yeah. 95.
Yeah, because I was definitely around before Windows was even in existence.
Oh, so you're DOS and whatever. But you're more...
My first computer,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
my first computer was on a giant piece of plywood. It had a giant motherboard, and it had these cards that were 6 to 12 inches long and tall. And I loaded and saved my programming on a cassette tape.
Whoa!
Like through a cassette player.
Yeah, tape drive. Yeah.
That was back in 1982.
Wow. Boy, that was right.
Yeah.
right before Steve Jobs, right around he released the Apple, and then
Yep.
Microsoft got into. I mean that's an amazing time. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my stepdad worked at Motorola as an engineer, so
At
he came home
Motorola
and built me one. Yeah.
in Illinois.
No,
Huh.
he started off in Phoenix
Oh, okay.
because that's where they met, and then we moved. He got transferred out to Texas.
Oh. Well, because headquarters is in Illinois, and is it the Rolling Meadows, right? It's like Algonquin and Meacham Road, be a Schaumburg, Rolling Meadows kind of area. So I knew some people that worked there too. But he didn't work there.
Yeah, I've had a couple of stepfathers that were in the tech industry back then. Back when I was a kid.
So you've seen the whole frickin' thing then, man. That's crazy.
Oh, I've been building websites for and doing maintenance and marketing since 1997, back when it was straight HTML. We didn't have WordPress and all that yet.
Right.
Or we might have had it, but it wasn't. It was still too glitchy and not safe. And
well, whatever happened, because I did my own web stuff too, though, through, I got long stories about this, because I am an entrepreneur, was a business owner, whatever. I'm typing something, I'm sorry. I'm not good at fucking multitasking.
Okay.
I'm just, somebody apologized to me, and I'm accepting their apology.
Oh, that was nice.
Well, yeah, it was a comment. And of course, I was being sarcastic. Huh?
As long as it was actually heartfelt, it's fine.
Oh, no, it is. It's just that my sarcastic ass said something, and then somebody says, well, what are you, 5 years old? And I just didn't even touch that one. And then somebody said, are you quoting somebody else? I said, well, yeah, that's why it's in parentheses and quotations. Oh, and then this guy just apologized. And I said, no big deal. I don't care. It's not going to ruin my day. It made my day that he apologized, but I just hate it when things are taken out of context. It's just like, read what you're... I mean, I do the same thing. I'll read something and go, oh, you motherfucker, Sorry, that's loud. It's like, so... And then it's like, wait, Tim, you're a dumbass. You didn't read it. You really didn't read it. So everybody's guilty of it.
Yeah.
Jump to conclusions, especially if it's a sensitive issue, which there's plenty right now. So.
Oh yeah, there are.
So whatever happened to Java then? Because I kind of had my head into this stuff a little bit, and I was getting into e-commerce way before anybody else was, and was selling stuff on the internet, but decided by feedback from my vice president / wife / ex-wife not to do it anymore, and I did. I stopped, and I shouldn't have, but I did. Whatever. But yeah, whatever happened to Java and all that? Is that gone, or is it?
No, it's still there. I
mean, is
we
it?
Actually, we use it for all kinds of programming.
But
Java and Flash both they're next to impossible to optimize for search engines. So when you have a Flash site or a Java site, you essentially lose all your ability or most of your ability to optimize for search. That's why you only use it in parts and pieces versus like most of your site.
Okay. So it's well, Flash is like a video player or anything that's animated or movies, not movies, but .mov or whatever, right? Chat.
Well, even your chats, a lot of your chats are Flash. A lot of your little games are Flash. Java's same type of stuff. Your chats and your animated things.
So pretty much animated or has
on their own.
What?
things that move on their own.
I was going to
like
say.
the cats that automatically scroll.
Yeah, anything that has movement or animation or whatever, some motion. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, well, I really fucked up on that. I could. There's a company in Illinois, and I'm not going to name them, but they're like the Amazon.com of my industry for parts, and I was doing that. Well, I can't really confirm or deny it, but I was doing it before or at the same time they were. And they're like a multi-million-dollar company now. I'm so fucking pissed off, cause back this is like 1999, 2000. What?
I've missed plenty of boats.
I know, but I was on the boat and I sunk it. And it's like I am so mad at myself because I'm not kidding you. That website now is the Amazon of the heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration and restaurant equipment parts. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. It's like, oh, whatever. And way back in 2000, 2001. Oh, so we were talking the other day, I don't know how this came up, about the Y2K bug and what a bunch of horseshit that was.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, the world's gonna end.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that everything was just gonna die, and it's like, computers are actually a lot stronger than that.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but what it was that the BIOS clock or the clock in all computers, because hard drive space. I read Bill Gates' book, Business at the Speed of Light, and it's fucking fascinating. That was published in 1999. And that's when I started getting in. And actually, that inspired me to do more stuff on the World Wide Web and Internet, whatever they were calling it back then. I think they call it the World Wide Web. I don't know. But he explained all that. Huh? What?
It's still www.
Right. www.com, whatever. So he was explaining how expensive it was for storage, for hard drive storage. And every character, letter, number, whatever, cost a lot of money to put on a computer. Just one letter, which fucking boggles my mind now. So, in order to save money and space, or actually I think it was more of a space concern because I don't even remember what the megabyte storage capacity was back then, but it was, every letter counted. So they said, fuck it, we're not going to put 4 characters for the date when we can only use or need 2 to save memory space and money. So they just used the 2 last numbers. So when it went to 99, they're all fucking freaking out. Yeah. It's like, what's it gonna do? Go to 00? Yeah, what? Yeah. Is it gonna shut down? How's it gonna recognize 00? And oh my God, they
didn't plan ahead.
Well,
they didn't plan ahead for it.
Well, they all must have worked for the government or something, is all I can say, because, that's just stupid. That's retarded. But, hindsight, from my, I don't know, from what I know, it never really caused any problems with anybody, did it?
No.
Right.
Not that I know of. I know I didn't have any issues.
Well,
nobody I knew had any.
I called manufacturers and engineers, and, well, engineers don't like talking to you, but very few I've talked to. But in this case, I don't think I talked to any engineers, but the people I talked to the engineers. And everything has a circuit board and computer on it now that I work on. Ice machines, rooftop units, furnaces, air conditioning, whatever. So I called a particular manufacturer, and I said, hey, is this thing going to do anything weird when it rolls over to 00? And they said, that's interesting because there is a date in the computer, but of course only 00. And they didn't know. They're like, well, how am I going to tell my customer that their ice machine's broke because you people are dumbasses? And then of course you probably have to replace the whole computer board, and then they would update it with software or firmware, whatever. and then it would work. But yeah, it was just that actually motivated me to buy my first Macintosh, which I did because I was immune to that for a backup just in case. And I'm not a huge Apple fan anymore because I bought a G5 Tower, and shortly thereafter they went from the Motorola processor chip to the Intel chip, and my computer was a paperweight. Because nothing was reverse compatible. No matter what, you were stuck with it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I was pissed because I paid
there was a long period of time.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a long period of time where brands were specific to their parts, and that was so aggravating.
For Apple?
For Apple, for Gateway was one of the ones that was really bad about it.
Yeah.
You could not replace any parts unless they were made by Gateway.
Yeah, OEM proprietary. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the words I was looking for there.
Yeah. Well,
words too early in the morning.
That's okay. Apple. Well, that's the way Apple is because Apple makes their own hardware too. So you're kind of software and hardware. So you're kind of screwed there. You don't have a choice.
Which is one of the reasons why I'm not a real big fan of Apple anymore. Well,
and that was all Bill Gates' argument, too, with Steve Jobs. It's like Steve Jobs like, well, we got the best computer and our own stuff and everything else. And Bill Gates says that ain't going to matter. And I think Bill Gates was right, actually. So it was all open. I mean, we have the software, and you can throw it on any frickin' computer out there that's not Apple for the most part. I mean, there you go. So.
Yeah.
But
I've had Frankenpooters for years.
You've had what?
Frankenpooters.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Well,
Frankenstein computers.
Well, that's how I started with all the towers and that. I stick with all-in-ones now. I got a Sony Vaio I'm using right now. I love this computer, and I think I bought this thing 7-8 years ago. And of course, Sony, anything that works or people like, they stop. I can't figure them out.
Of course.
Yeah, and like, oh no, everybody like computer, we stop making. So we fuck Tim Parsons. Yeah, I love this computer, but I wouldn't mind. My son built a gaming computer, or bought one, and he upgrades them and stuff. He's learned quite a bit. And you know, it's so fucking aggravating though to get everything configured, and then you wipe out the hard drive and reformat it, and oh my god, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. But I do prefer doing that. But go ahead.
I usually reformat at least about once every 6 months or so.
Really? Because of all the crap that's on there?
I'm a webmaster. I end up with so much junk on my computer.
Yeah, I bet.
And I can't use any blockers or anything because I have to see what's actually in a website.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I end up with all kinds of nastiness. But I don't crash, so.
Yeah, this one's been pretty good, but the whole point of it is I don't know what I'm going to do when, I think one of two things will happen. The graphics card will go out on it, or the hard drive will go out on it. And when that happens, it's going to be garbage because I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to do from there.
I'm actually getting a new computer today.
No. How weird. What?
Yeah.
A Gateway?
Yeah. No. So for Christmas, my son and I, because my son's a gamer, we decided to go ahead and invest in a gaming type laptop. It's not quite a game, not like Alienware, but it's a high-end gaming laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And he just got a really nice desktop less than a year ago. So he's going to take the laptop, and then I'm going to take it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would definitely. This is interesting. I don't know how we're getting into this, but I don't really fucking care if you don't. But with the Bitcoin mining, the miners found out that the graphics cards, the high-end ones, have more processing power by, completing or running hashtag calculations or whatever the term is, way faster than the PC, the chip on the motherboard, the microprocessor on the motherboard. Is that right?
Yeah, GPU versus CPU.
Yeah. So they just started using the graphics card for bit mining instead of a whole freaking computer. And it's interesting because I'm not a big gamer. I mean, I have a PS4 and I have an Xbox One. And, I mean, I'm old enough where I remember standing in my uncle and aunt's house in Streamwood, Illinois back in the 70s. I was probably 10, maybe 12. And they bought Pong. And I'm looking at it. I go, what the fuck is that? And all it was 3 bars pretty much. One in the middle and 2 that you controlled by knobs that were paddles. They called them paddles. And
a bouncy ball.
Yeah, and a little ball.
A bouncy pixel.
Yeah, and a little ball bouncing across the screen. It was all white and black and white. No matter if you had a color TV or not. Black and white. That's what it was. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was so cool. You know, and I've seen the whole I don't know, evolution of gaming. It's just insane.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking insane. You know.
Back in 1982 on that first computer that I had.
Yep.
And there are still sounds today that will just absolutely creep me out.
Really?
Because my games were all text-based. You know, we didn't have graphics back then. All we had was text. And, but it would give me these little beeps and blips. Like it was an adventure game.
Uh-huh.
And as I got closer to one of the creatures that I was supposed to kill, it would start doing these little beeps and blips and weird sounds. And to this day, there's certain sounds that will just absolutely creep me out because it throws me back into that anxiety of, oh man, I'm getting ready to get a monster.
Really? I mean, I understand that, but that's crazy. Wow. Just the sound.
Yeah.
Huh. I get it. What was it, like a boss or something you got to kill to get to the next level or something like that? Or do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, there were bats. There were rats. And I do not remember what the major monster was. There was only one, there was only one major monster.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go through the game and, different choices would would make your game different.
Uh-huh.
So it was kind of like one of those books that you read and you make choices at the end of a chapter or something to make the next move, and you have to go to a different page.
Huh.
It was literally like one of those books, but on a computer.
I got it. I get too aggravated with trying to figure shit out, like Zelda and all these other and Nintendo games or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, fuck you. I've had enough of this. And like, I'm more like a Sonic Hedgehog type of person where it's kind of fun and it's not that hard to figure out, or just role playing first person. Would it be for where you're looking at shit and you're blowing everything up? I like that kind of stuff, but I'm not like a Call of Duty guy or anything because that's just, those people are crazy.
Yeah, I've been playing EverQuest. Well, now EverQuest 2.
Go ahead.
2001.
People,
I've had those accounts for almost 20 years now.
People were getting really addicted to that game.
There's a reason they called it EverCrack. I was one of those addicts. I really did. I got really super into it, and
wow.
I was working from home doing tech support, and so I had to sit in the chat room all night long. And I'd just have a second computer set up, and I'd just sit there and play my game while I was working.
Yeah, I mean, people would be on it for hours and hours and not even sleep, and just like a true addiction.
Oh yeah. yeah.
to keep going.
yeah.
And I have an addictive behavior, and I'm like, you know what? I know myself good enough not to even get started into the. I forgot about that game.
hmm
Huh.
I still play it. Yeah, I still play it.
I like the Star Wars.
Now it's not as bad.
Yeah,
I
I
only
bet.
play like every once in a while.
But is it still going on? I mean, is there levels that you're still hitting, or
yeah.
really?
They actually, yeah, they just released a new expansion.
Oh God!
That I'm like dying to get actually.
Wow. See, and right now in my life, I got too much time in my hands, and I really don't want to do that because I would.
Oh, don't go there.
Yeah,
Don't go there.
I would. Yeah.
Don't go there.
Yeah, I want to find more productive things to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, because once you get hooked into it,
for me now, it's just whenever I need a break.
But
I don't feel like getting out and doing something. I'll go log into my game and do some crafting or hunt a little bit.
Well, if that's your time and your personal time or your getaway time or quiet, whatever it is, that's fine. But like I said, I saw stories about that people were just way beyond bringing them back, and they were just hooked in.
Yeah, I was for a few years.
Wow.
I was one of the few addictions I've ever had.
No, I understand that. So that's why I won't do it.
But for me, it was also social, and I have anxiety issues, so it was my way of also having kind of a social life.
I get it. Yeah, I know. I get it. My favorite game now we're talking about this is probably Quake 3. That was a great fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And then the assholes shut down the servers so you couldn't play with other people, and then it was the end of the game as far as that goes, and you only could play against yourself. But that you went to different worlds, and I mean, it was so cool. That was such a fucking great game. Oh my God. I got stuck on that one, but I would just say finally, once I would get killed, I would go, okay, that's it, Tim, you're done. But I had to literally pull myself away from that game. Quake 3 Arena, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, so much fun.
There's been a lot of good games over the years.
Yeah, no, I know. And actually, my son, again, I don't know if people realize that the PC versions the software is like half or more less than the gaming systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they play better.
They can be.
Well, I think...
Yeah, I'd much rather have a regular, computer game than, the gaming systems. Those controllers, I have cognitive memory issues.
Yeah.
And so, because the controllers have so many buttons
Yep.
now.
Right.
Back when they only had a few buttons, I used to love to play consoles.
Yeah,
But now they have too many buttons, and I can't remember which ones to hit, and I get aggravated.
Yeah, I think you need one button, which would be fire, and then the joystick, which would be forward, would be run back, whatever. It's way all too complicated. So.
Yeah, too many options.
Yeah, well, back in the arcades when I was a kid, that's where we hung out, and I don't remember one or two buttons at the most and a joystick on anything that you played. So.
Hey, speaking of
what?
We have a game section on the network.
Really?
And there is actually a Nintendo NES emulator on there. There's some old school games on there.
Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? On the webpage.
If you go to network sites and go to games.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's on that site.
Dumbass. I see that now. Okay. Jules Blitz Bubble Shooter, 360 Connect Solitaire, Street Race Daily Jigsaw, Daily Sudoku, whatever, Aqua Blitz, Candy Mayang? What's that? Huh.
Mahjong.
Yeah. Cookie Crush. No, I don't like any.
If you mouse over, oh no, it's not there either. Hang on, where the heck?
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it's right there. If you mouse over games, the first one is Nintendo games.
If I mouse over game? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Up in the top menu.
La, la, ba, bum, bum. Oh, and you put all the control things on there. That's really cool. Huh.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
See, you're learning new things about your network.
Yeah, I think the show's over. I'm going to play some Nintendo games. Is Donkey Kong on here?
It's kind of cool to be able to go in there and play around a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge Nintendo fan, but some of the games are just like Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers, and I mean that stuff's timeless, man. That's just some good shit there. That's cool. Huh.
Well, I mean, those came out when we were young in the big arcades.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how many quarters did we spend?
Oh God, I want them back.
And now they're like $1 a piece.
Well,
Have
yeah.
you been to an arcade in the last 3 years?
Yeah, actually, there's a place called Flipside, right down here in downtown Loveland, and on Friday nights, like tonight, I walk down there because I usually have a beer or two, but nothing crazy. But it's like, you know what? It's a mile. I'll walk. It ain't even worth it. So I go down there and I'll play some pinball. But they have some games in there. But you're right. The arcade games are more expensive than the pinball. There's some pinball machines. Actually, most of them are 50 cents, which is fine. Some of them are 75 cents, which I won't play.
Wow.
But
no, that's ridiculous for pinball.
Exactly. But I've always liked pinball. In some of these games, like
me too.
The Iron Man game is just phenomenal. It's so much fun. It's crazy. But like to get a replay, you got to reach like 12 million points or some shit. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they make it very challenging. But there's one pinball machine. Ryan Reynolds, what superhero he plays? Smart ass guy.
Deadpool.
Yeah, there's a Deadpool machine. Get this, because you said get all your quarters back. This is funnier than fuck. Okay, so you drop a quarter in there, and usually any pinball game you play says something, or makes a noise or whatever to acknowledge you dump money into it. Fucking, you drop a quarter into this Deadpool machine, and the first thing you hear is Ryan Reynolds saying, "You're not gonna get that back." Like, what? Or you're never gonna get that back, or something. Like, you motherfucker.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's funnier than shit. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, fuck. Oh, you
that
just
is awesome.
Really fucking piss me off, because it's true. Oh my God, it's a great fun game.
Yeah.
Great game.
I wonder how many millions. I mean, and millions is a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder how many millions of quarters, dollars worth of quarters, got put into those machines. People made fortunes.
Oh yeah, I don't know what really happened to arcades other than they weren't ran correctly because the internet was way, way, way down the road, and gaming consoles were really nothing to speak of because the arcades, the technology and the machines in the arcades was way above any home console. So,
oh yeah,
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I still like going to them, like Dave and Buster's and stuff like that. I haven't been to one of those in years, but I always have fun going back into them because of I don't know, nostalgia or I don't know, but
oh, totally.
Yeah, but it's like
anytime I run across an arcade, it's like, oh, I gotta go in.
Well, you know what gets me hooked? Like now that I'm talking about it, because I did some work up in Wisconsin for a customer doing some refrigeration installs on brand new stores, and there was a Dave and Buster's up there, and I sat at the bar, and I look up, and I'm having a beer, and I sat up at the bar and looked at the TVs. And they're playing music videos like from MTV, And I'm like, oh my God. And I can sit there and watch that shit for hours. And I did. So I don't know if it's just me and that was my time in my teenage years and that was it. Because I was in heaven. I could watch MTV and
we saw the launch of it.
What?
We saw the launch of MTV.
Right.
Video
No, I know.
The radio stars.
I know. And I still watch them if I can find them. I mean, there's some musicians that I've interviewed, and Forever Still's one of them. Edge of Paradise is another, and they're still putting out really high quality, quote unquote, MTV video music, television videos, and I love it. I think it's great.
Memories.
I know. I don't know why they
abandoned.
I don't know why they abandoned that after they started their stupid TV programming. It's fucking MTV, you know? Music television.
Yeah.
I don't think they played a fucking video in 30 years.
Yeah, now you have to watch like the MTV Live or something like that.
Right.
For the actual videos. I don't even know. It's been so many years since I've even paid attention to MTV because they just went down the tubes.
Well, then they got cute and went
But they also don't really play much music I like anymore.
No. And I was going to say, when MTV started ditching videos, they kind of passed it off to VH1, you know, and then VH1 would play a whole eclectic, fucking, you know, different genres of music. And it's like, and you saw like one Def Leppard, you're like, oh, this is great. And then they play Sade or something. It's like, what the fuck, you know? So that was really irritating. But I have Pluto TV, which is free, and they have that MTV Live, and they'll play blocks, which I think is even cooler. They'll play blocks of musicians for like a half hour at a time, and you watch all their videos. It's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they're kind of grainy and look like shit, you know, because they're not in HD. But I still really don't care. It's amazing. It's amazing the quality of the difference in quality of video now. It's just insane.
Yeah, I remember when one of the bands that I used to watch, who was it, Mark Masterson?
I don't know.
It was Dangerous Toys, I think, is where he came from. But he ended up being a VJ on MTV.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, in Austin, I used to go to a bar called The Back Room, and it was the only heavy metal venue for a long time in Austin.
Huh.
And then emos came around, but the metal bands would go to the back room instead of going to the big venues. And so we got to see just incredible friggin' bands for like $5. I mean, Pantera. We used to go see Pantera for $5.
Are they from Texas? Or no? They were just on tour?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that'd be great. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I got to see Body Count, Ice-T's metal band.
Uh-huh.
All kinds of them. My daughter's father actually punched Dee Snider.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sure he would remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. I was never a big Twisted Sister fan at all.
Me neither, and he was such a jerk back then.
Yeah, he seems like he's a nice guy now, but I, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know he's been married forever, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I never really
No,
followed him much.
No, I think he has been, or was, or still is, because they did a TV show with him and his wife and family, and yeah, he's been married forever.
That's
from what
cool.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah, good luck. Good for you.
Cool.
You beat me, so whatever. But what can you do?
My longest marriage was 3 years, and most of that we weren't together.
Oh, jeez. Yep. I understand that. Well, I got 4 more days, and it'll be change the subject a little bit, and then probably get 8 minutes. What is it? The third. 4 more days will be 4 years.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
You said we got 8 minutes, and I looked down at the clock, and it was like, wow, that went quick.
Oh, it always does. I warn people, especially with interviews. That's what I do which you haven't done in a while. I'm like, time's gonna fly. The rules are there are no rules. You can talk about everything. I have no script. I don't steer people to where I want them to go. I let them say whatever they want to say. And I said, but the time's going to fly. So, if you want an hour, that's what we got. If you want more, just let me know. It's usually, oh, yeah, an hour's plenty. And then fucking, just like now, it's like, whoa, what happened? And I've had interviews that have gone 2 hours. So, I don't know what that...
I mean, we haven't even gotten to our actual topic.
Well, I know.
Today.
And that's fine. So, but, I don't know why that happens, and I'm not complaining. I kind of want to attribute to me doing this by myself most of the time, and I can fill the time in for an hour, and then when I have somebody else, they just took half my time just by simple math. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if I could sit here and blab to myself for an hour or two, you throw somebody else in there, you just doubled the time. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Then if you throw commercials in there and music in there, I mean, it could easily turn into 3 hours, But anyway, yeah.
That's part of the reason why we offer 3-hour blocks too.
Well, yeah, but to get to
we offer 1, 2, and 3 hours.
To get to that level and do that, 3, 4, 5 times a week, that's a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just without being redundant and boring and repetitive and all the other terms. I mean, that I admire and respect that. That takes a lot. But if you had me and you and another person and then callers calling in and blah 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 blah, it's definitely obtainable. That's for sure. It just has to be entertaining, and that's the challenge. So, but I don't see why you can't. There's plenty of shit to talk about. So, like this. So,
right, we've just kind of gracefully moved from topic to topic.
Well, it just, like I said, it just flows. I mean, we were going to talk about hemp, which we'll say for next week, but because today's Friday, that feels like a Tuesday because everything all fucked up from the holiday. But
we're not going to talk about what day of the week it is because I'm lost this week.
Right, exactly. So it feels like a Tuesday to me. So I guarantee I'll wake up in the morning ready to go to work, and it's like, wait a minute, it's freaking Saturday. Because I get up at the same time no matter what day it is. But in 4 more days, it'll be 4 years since I've been divorced officially. And I'm going to reflect on that. And I've done my homework on it. And with all the shit I've been through in my life, when I first got divorced, there's no books out there. There's a whole nother thing that I can't find anybody to interview on. There's no books. And the books that I found, it's all in dealing with your ex when you got to show up at a wedding and they're there with their either girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, fucking wife, whatever. I'm like, I don't want to read this shit. This isn't what I don't want to learn how to deal with seeing somebody that I don't want to see. I just don't, let alone with somebody else.
Right.
I want to deal with...
If I don't want to see them, I don't
Yeah, I'll just not go. Yeah, the book should be saying, just don't go, or don't engage, or, how to handle your ex. Don't see him. Okay, there you go. The fucking book's over. But don't put yourself in positions. But unfortunately, sometimes you're not going to have it. I mean, you always have a choice. But if my son gets married again, I don't know what I'm going to tell him, to be honest. It's like, I really don't. I mean, fuck. What do I do? What do you do? But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
In all honesty, I've been married 3 times.
Wow.
And I told you my longest marriage was 3 years, and most of that we were separated. That was my first one.
Yeah.
And I always, after everyone, which I mean, I've always said that I'm not the marrying kind anyway. Even I've said that since I was a kid. I already knew it.
Well, you're not listening to yourself.
Right? Well, I kept having to prove myself right. Is
Oh,
what I
there you
said.
go. Well, there's nothing wrong with
And
that. Okay. Yeah.
but my last divorce was in 2001,
Oh
and
wow.
prior to that, I always still had hope that I'd have that fairy tale life of marriage and kids, and
Hmm.
so I kept trying it, and now I haven't dated in over 10 years.
Marriage is wonderful, but that fantasy of Prince Charming and a princess and having kids and living happily ever after is just a fucking lie. And
It
say,
really is.
if I say that and people are still married, they're gonna, of course, their wife or husband are probably right there and, oh no, no, I love you. This. It's like, you know what? You're not being honest, because marriage is hard work, and it's like a job. And the problem with
And it
marriage
takes
is,
two people.
well, it takes two people growing at the same level. And that's where the problem is. Because one is outgrows the other. And if the other one doesn't deal with their demons and their shit in their past by going to therapy, whether it's individual, and I'm not blaming, I'm just saying, because I got my fucking problems too. But I was working on them, and I kept ascending and ascending and ascending, and I kept dragging and dragging and dragging her. And her behavior now without me, unprotected in this world, she's already remarried and then was going to get divorced and reconciled, and she married a sociopath. So it is what it is.
Wow.
But yeah, it is. Those are facts. I'm not blaming anybody. Me, I went through.
It's just life.
I went through a bunch of women dating in the beginning, and then I started. The last one said she was going to. Said, I'm going to marry you, and even gave me a date. A girl I was nuts about when we were kids. Yeah. And I don't want to get into this too much, but it was just a fake marriage proposal or comment to keep me anchored. And I caught on to it, and I left. And I moved here. And that's pretty much the last time I've had a quote-unquote relationship, and that's 2 years, almost to the day. So, but yeah, marriage is great. It really is. I mean, my ex and I started with nothing, and we built a business that we were told would fail, and it's impossible, and turned $10,000 into $30 million over 20 years. I mean, and I give her half of that credit. I truly do. But I don't think she'll give me the credit for, without me, it wouldn't have happened, put it that way. So I definitely brought her up. Whether she wants to admit that or not, I don't really care. She didn't bring me up. So it wasn't her abilities and her talents to start a company, and then I helped her. It was the other way around. And if it was that way, I would give her the credit. It's like, yeah, I'm where I'm at because of my ex-wife, because we started a business together, and, we turned something into something wonderful. But I wouldn't try to take half of it from her. I don't want to get into that and make her pay out of her fucking ass for it. But be that as it may, yeah, I mean, marriage is great, and I would do it again. But man, I don't know. I mean, it would be. I'm going back to my teens, like you. I'm never going to be married. I'm not a marrying type of person. I'm a family type of person. But see, it's hard to have.
I'm totally family.
Yeah, but it's hard to have a
family
family without being married. I mean, you can do it.
Exactly.
So, because that's not the way we've been indoctrinated to think with religion and public school system and all that other crap. But the reason why I say that is that because that's coming up, and I'm going to talk about it, and then I'm done with it, because I'm getting sick and tired of people. My dad said this to me when I was back in Chicago for Christmas. It's like, when are you going to get over this stuff? And it's like, just because I'm fucking talking about this, and you're hanging with people.
You're not over it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not over it. And I mean, if that was the case, AA and CA and all these self-help groups wouldn't help, because if somebody responded with that after you took your turn around the table talking about your situation, it's like, oh, you're not over that yet. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm sharing my experiences. It doesn't mean I'm not over it. I'm sharing it, because when you share, other people that are going through it can resonate with you and understand, and they know that they're not the only one going through this crap. And that's why I share this stuff.
Exactly.
But this is my dad.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, this is my fucking dad.
Yeah, well.
And I just nicely laid into him, and I said, well, I'll tell you what. You all are hanging with people that help destroy my family and my business, and I can make this real easy because you keep dragging me into this shit by Groundhog Day by associating with them. And I can tell all you to get lost. So then he backed off. But the whole reason why I bring this shit up is because there's no books out there for the poor person that's going through this. And there is a program called Divorce Care through my church, which is a national program. Because I couldn't find shit in Illinois. I couldn't find books. I couldn't find a support group. My church is like, oh, we just canceled that, or we never had it, or whatever. Or we're thinking about starting it. It's like, oh, my God. So I move out here, and my church has it, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It really helped me a lot. But I like looking inside me by books and being honest and everything else. I could not find one book out there that would help people deal with the feelings of divorce. And I still haven't.
I wonder why. I mean, it's not like we don't have a bunch of people who are divorced that know how to write, you know?
Well, I think because they focus
It's
on...
kind of odd.
Well, I think I know why. Because they focus on just divorce. So, and that's a very multifaceted thing because, like I just proved to it, I went back and talked about things, and then you start talking about your ex and things that happen, and then that resonates with other people, and then that brings up feelings they didn't deal with in situations and brings out all the resentments and anger. And it's not really a good positive way to deal with it. I think that's why. But divorce and losing a close loved one like your wife or your kid, God forbid, or something like that, what a better way to go at it is dealing with loss, regardless of what it is. That way you're not being specific to... Because could you imagine trying to find a book to deal with how you lost one of your kids and they're dead? I mean, how...
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of books out there for that.
But
quite honestly, I mean, that's essentially what divorce is. I mean, you're dealing with the death of something.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm getting to, because the best book by far I ever found that deals with this stuff is called It's Okay That You're Not Okay. Written by a therapist.
I've heard of that book.
Oh, my God. It's definitely... There's so many books that are number one on my list, depending on what we're talking about, and there's a close first, second, third, whatever. I mean, they're all right there. I really don't want to say there's one better than the other, but definitely one of the top books I've ever read in my life. It's Okay That You're Not Okay. And ironically, I bought it for a friend when I first moved out here, that her soon-to-be husband, boyfriend she lived in with, died of a massive heart attack while he was riding his exercise bike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just fucked her up in the head so bad. So I was looking for stuff for her because it's a long story, but she, her and I were going to go out, and then she wouldn't call me, and she goes, Tim, I'm sorry. And I understood the situation, and I wasn't going to capitalize or take advantage of her weakness. So I didn't do that, but she's fucked up. Yeah. And I looked into it, and I found a book, because you can't think for yourself when you're going through that kind of stuff. You just can't. And no. I bought this book for her, and I kind of started going through it, and I'm like, whoa. And I just replaced losing a loved one or whatever with a divorce, because it's loss. It's dealing with loss. And I started reading reading the book, and I bought one for me. And I'm like, holy shit. And the thing is, the woman that wrote it is a licensed professional therapist that counsels people that have experienced the horrible thing of losing a loved one, whether it was a kid or a husband or a wife or whatever. And everything she was taught, she was counseling these people to help heal. This woman went home one night, and she found her husband dead on the fucking floor from a massive heart attack. So she's trying to deal with all this stuff, and she heard it's a phenomenal book. She heard from her friends, I'm so sorry for your loss, or I couldn't imagine, or well, you're lucky you got that much time in your marriage with them, because I know other people that haven't. And all this stuff is hurtful to the person that's hearing it, but the people that are saying it, they think they're helping, and they're not. They're actually pouring gas on the fire when you say that shit.
Yeah.
You're like, I know how you
they really are.
I know how you feel. God forbid, I'm sorry you lost your baby, and I know how that must feel. And of course you're thinking, how in the fuck do you know how I feel about this? Have you ever lost a baby? Well, no, but I know people that do. Or I saw a movie about it. It's like, well, fuck you. And you just get more angry and resentful at it because nobody understands. Long story short, she finally realized that all of her training and her education was wrong, and she threw it out the door. And then she kept a diary and how she dealt with this, and how she went through it, and keeping a journal and this and that and everything else. And she's like, it's okay to get pissed, and it's okay to tell people to fuck off, and tell people, listen, that's not really helping me. And you have to find your own journey, or the journey finds you, to go down that road to finally accept this stuff, deal with it, and move on and become at peace with all this stuff. But the way that we're taught to do it in all of our training is flat out fucking wrong. So that's why I don't think there's a book on divorce, because it would all be wrong anyway, and everybody goes through the different stuff. But this book does fit into people that have lost something very, very tragic.
And loss is loss, regardless
exactly.
of what it is.
That's the point. So the best book I found on divorce, which isn't even for divorce, is It's Okay That You're Not Okay. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. It's great. It actually probably saved me. Between that and Outwitting the Devil, it was just, I don't know. But there's no book out there on divorce, and if someone says there is, I want to know about it, and then I'm going to read it, and then I'll say if it is or not, because it's just a horrible, dark place to be.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
My last one was a really rough one.
Yeah. Well,
I'm one of those women that leaves marriages way worse off than I got into them.
Yeah. Right. Well, we can save all of that. I mean, if you want to share, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Because some people, like I said, they'll listen to this or they'll listen to us. It's like, oh, listen to these two dingbats. They never got over their ex. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Okay, that's not what it's about. So.
Yeah, my last one put me through a battered women's shelter.
Well, jeez.
I had to leave the state of Texas and go somewhere that I'd never been before, because I found out that he had tried to take a shot at me with a gun from behind the shelter I was in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so basically, and the police are the one that led him there.
Oh, that's so they would have been charged with being an accessory. Fucking whatever.
Oh, well, yeah, you would think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you did that, you would be. But whatever. I don't want to. Hey, I love law enforcement and the military and the whole nine yards. I'm not banging them. I'm just saying it's just ironic, and of course I'm being sarcastic as usual. So. Well,
there are good and bad in any profession.
Absolutely. You got that right. Yep. Well,
this one happened to be a bad one. When I was in the shelter, I was trying to file a report for marital rape. And this was back when, like 2 years after marital rape was actually a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I never heard of it.
And I was talking to I lived in a really, really small town.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cops and I actually got along really well. He had been across the street at a barbecue and heard my son's father and I fighting. Went home, put his uniform on, and brought two big old dudes with him and knocked on my door.
Oh, boy.
And so I was talking to him about it, and he was answering me really weird. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. And like I said, I'm sitting in a battered women's shelter at the time.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, the chief, he spoke up and was like, "You need to stop lying about your husband."
Mm.
Ask women why they don't leave. There you go.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I stayed in hiding for right at a year, and he threatened to get a default divorce, which would have meant he would have gotten anything he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And he told my mother that he was going to file for divorce and for custody of my son, and then charge me with kidnapping.
Oh, nice.
So,
Very nice.
So I was forced out of hiding, and when I went back to Texas to deal with it, I tried to get a restraining order, of course, as soon as I got there. And because there hadn't been, quote unquote, any violence in the last year, I was denied a freaking restraining order. He stole my son for a week. I had to get the police involved in order to get my son back.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds. I mean, it was a nightmare. It really was. I've never fully emotionally or financially recovered from all of that.
No shit. Join the club.
Yeah.
I know.
And that was almost 20 years ago now. Next year it'll be 20 years.
It'll be 4 for me. And someone just said to me yesterday, because they didn't know me before I moved here, which will be 2 years this April. It's a couple, and I know her better than her husband. And I've shared stuff with her, and we were all talking last night. And I said, yeah, I got a raise today, and blah, 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 which I did yesterday. And this was last night, actually, we were saying this. Yay. And they were both like, okay. Boy, you've thanks. You've come really a long way. And I'm like, well, sure the fuck don't feel like it. Because I was utterly destroyed. I mean, everything that I had. I mean, of course, it was 50-50, but on top of the divorce decree, that took my other half. So actually, she got everything. You know, so yeah. And I started. It's like I'm literally 19 years old in an apartment, making okay money. Nothing where I did when I was on my own, of course. But yeah, starting all over again, trying to scrounge a down payment for a house, or not a house. I'm going to get a townhome next year. But yeah, but it sure don't feel like I'm making progress. But if people are telling me I am, then I guess I am. But it's a motherfucker. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. The most challenging thing I've ever dealt with in my life. So.
Well, yeah, because we put a lot of the blame completely on ourselves for things that really weren't.
But that's true, though. I mean, we can get into this. I'm not trying to cut you off, but we can get into this when I talk about this on the 4th, because that's the bottom line there. And with a lot of soul searching and looking at myself, because when you go through a divorce, you know, it's horrible. And the more I went through it and really looked at it from the outside, yeah, she did a lot of things, and betrayal is really the hardest thing. I mean, betrayal is more or less treason. And if somebody does a treasonous act, you know, the penalty's death. So it's like, that's how it feels. You know, that's how it feels. It's like, and I'm not saying people should die or she should die. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a very severe, serious action to do to another human being or a country, if you want to get into that. And to deal with it, it's like, well, look, you did this, you did that. You always look at the other person, but it took a lot of honesty and a lot of analyzation as to why it happened. And the bottom line was is that honestly, it was my fault. I let these people into my life. And the second thing is,
that's what I was just about to say when you got done.
The second, but there's more to it than that, because you just can't go, okay, fuck everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Melissa? You're a woman. You're fucking nuts. You're just going to fuck me and take my shit anyway if we get married. Fuck you. And I'm not even going to deal with you because you're all the same. See, that's the finger pointing thing. That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Okay? The other part of it is this. The other part of it is this. All right, Melissa, we're going to date. We're going to get married and this and that. But I have my boundaries. And I'm going to let you know, without sounding like a complete asshole, that if this happens, there's one of two things are going to happen. I'm done. I'm out. Or I'm going to let you know, listen, honey, I told you if this went down this road, it's going to be a problem because it's a boundary. But see, I had boundaries, but I never really wrote them down. And I never really acknowledged that they were being crossed or violated. And then I never really did anything about them because I married this woman and I gave her my vows through thick and thin, death do us apart, blah, 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 and she'll always have my back. But there was things going on that were going down the betrayal road and I just ignored them. And that's my fault.
Yeah. And that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, we don't respect our own boundaries.
No, you're absolutely right.
We allow
Yes.
people to cross them. And
That's right.
that's part of the reason why I've been on my own for the last 10 years, because I knew I had a problem with that. I realized that I had a problem with letting people stomp all over my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
the only way for me to stop that action was to not put myself in the position until I was healthy enough in my own head to be able to maintain those boundaries in a healthy way.
Right.
And unfortunately, it took a while, and now I just have no interest in dealing with all the BS that comes with dating and getting to know you. And are you going to cross my boundaries? Because I really don't have time to deal with that.
No. Right, exactly. And if they're crossing your boundaries and you even stated them, then they got a problem. But then they make their problem your problem.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's just like we were talking about when we had the narcissistic sociopath discussion.
Right, and that starts coming out.
They don't care about crossing the boundaries,
Nope.
and they're going to make you.
That's right.
They're going to try to make you feel like it's your fault.
Well, I'll tell you what, setting boundaries and adhering to them, and I'll share this story, and then I'll let you go, unless you want to add to it, which is fine. But there's this girl that I've known for a long time, and, of course, Facebook, and she moved and whatever over 30 years ago, or about then, and we reconnected on Facebook. Beautiful girl. Beautiful. I mean, really gorgeous. So we're talking in this, and she starts messaging me and saying some nice things. And so then I reciprocated, and I said, well, hey, what do you think about you and I, blah, 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 blah. And then she didn't say anything. So then I let some time go by, and I said, hey, you didn't reciprocate. And what's going on? And then she, I really don't want to say what she said exactly because I don't want people will know if they listen to this and they know me who it is. So she just said, I'm going through some real personal, challenging things, and it's going to take all my time and energy. And pretty much that's what it's going to do. And she's single. Yeah. And she had it on her Facebook that she's single, but she was in a relationship with this guy for 10 years. And she started having problems with him, So, but she was being real nice and sweet to me and instant messaging and all this. And for a while, it wasn't just like one time. And, you're so handsome and in shape and all this crap, it's like, okay, this is really nice. But she just said it one too many times and then she got me. So then about 3-4 weeks ago, I went on to her Facebook page and she went from single to in a relationship. And she told me that she wasn't ready for a relationship. So I set my boundaries. When I came here, I don't give a flying fuck how beautiful she is, how much money she makes, whatever she's going to say. I look at people's actions. And I always said, if I see this dysfunctionality, because people's behavior speak volumes. They can say one thing, but what they do is totally different.
Yep.
I saw that, there's no sense in confronting her because it's like, you know what, whatever. I just don't want to hear it. You know, she got back together with her ex-boyfriend. That's great. I wish you all the peace and happiness in the world. But I'm not going on this fucking ride. So I blocked her ass. So I'm taking my own advice. Well, I'm taking my, but in the past I wouldn't. I'd just go, well, you know what? I'll sit here and wait, let it play out. You know, she got back together with them. She'll break up with them again, and I'll just wait. But I'm not playing that game because that's a game. And number two, that's her behavior because she said one thing, and what she told me was way different. What happened? What happened?
My phone dropped.
Oh, I don't know how much you heard of that, but anyway, I could have sat there and waited, and just waited until she broke up with again and whatever. But the whole point of it is that was her behavior, and I don't want to deal with somebody that has that type of behavior because it was misleading, it was conditional, and actually, in all honesty, it's being insecure, which she has no reason to be. She's a beautiful woman, very, very, very smart, but. Don't tell me you got something going on that just you can't be in a relationship right now. And then the next thing I see on your status and your Facebook is that you're in a relationship. Fuck that. So.
Yeah, because that means you were already dealing with that while you were dealing with me.
Right.
Yeah, that's not okay.
No, and if she would have said, Tim, I got back together with blankety blank, and, we're going to try it again, and I know I told you that I wasn't ready for a relationship, but whatever. I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Good, you know what? Good luck. We can still be friends, and if you need me, I'm here, and whatever. But no, I got to see it on fucking Facebook. And it's like, you know what? There's the boundary. It's like, Tim, really? Do you really want to get dragged down this road with someone that's really that insecure and dysfunctional, which actually my ex-wife was for 27 years? No, I don't. So.
There you go.
Yep. So anyway, it's me letting people into my life I shouldn't have, and not setting and enforcing my boundaries, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. So, there you go.
Yep. Same here.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because I got to get to work, and I'm so glad we talked about hemp.
Yeah, it was a great CBD discussion.
I learned so much. I didn't know all that stuff. Thank you very much for sharing all that.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah, so maybe next time we can continue this on hemp.
You're just going to end up with me as a co-host, I think.
You know what? I don't care. I don't mind. I've thrown it out there a million times, and people have nibbled a little bit, but they never follow through with it, and it's fine. I really think it's more entertaining. And then if we get more people in here in the chat room and calling in more, it's great. This is how it starts. But if I just keep doing this by myself, it's going to be that much more challenging and harder to get people engaged. So.
Well, I mean, I've got to be up to watch the tech stuff anyway. So.
Well, there you go.
Better than sitting here staring at the screen.
Yeah, I don't care. That's fine. That's and whatever we talk about, because like I said, I don't have an agenda. I wanted to talk about hemp. Yeah. And I don't think we even brought the word up. So I go with the flow of where things are going. What?
We've only brought it up whenever we realize, oh, hey, we haven't talked about it.
Right.
Okay, well, on to what we were talking about.
Right. And that's what I love about this. It's all spontaneous. I don't have an agenda. I don't have a script. I don't have anything of that kind. Whatever happens, and that's what I love about this. So.
That's what makes the best morning shows, though. Those are always the ones that I've always really, really enjoyed.
Well, and that's
the ones that just don't have an agenda or a script.
Well, and that's why I like phone calls, too, because when you call in, there's no screening or in queue or what are you going to talk about or what are you going to say. Fuck that. It's just like, you call me, you're on the air, man. And that, I like that spontaneity, too, although you never know what they're going to say. And I don't care. I mean, I really like what you talk about, or I think you're an asshole, or like I don't care. Well, you know what? But if you get out of line, I'll hang up on you because I'm not gonna put up with going in the gutter and name calling and crap in the trolls or whatever. But but for the most part, that's rare.
cuss, another to name call.
What's that?
I said it's one thing to cuss, it's another to name call.
Yeah, well, whatever. And I don't even care about that because I got a thick skin. But if you just go down into the gutter and, well, you're a racist because you said black. Like, fucking really? Come on. You really want to focus on that, and that's just an example. Yeah. But I'm not going to go down that road. If they want to go down that road and hate or whatever, let them. I'm not going to let them drag me down. But for the most part, it's all good, positive stuff, and people call in with some stuff that is fascinating sometimes, and I didn't see it coming on a positive level, and it's great. I mean, I'll talk about anything anybody wants to talk about. So,
and there's all kinds of topics out there.
Oh my God, it's endless. And I'll come on here and go, "What are you going to talk about, Tim?" And it just, it just comes out. So, because you're talking about life. Well, you're talking about life, and I'll talk about anything. It's not just like, this is like a news story, a news network, or, well, Tim, you just got to read the network, or the news stories. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't. And the thing is, I can talk about me, and then other people will talk about them, and then it's just endless. It's like, because there's so much shit in people's lives, if they really want to talk about it without getting too revealing or personal, you talk about it all day long. So.
Well, and that's one of the missions of the network, is to bring people together and find your commonalities and, have those discussions that most places won't have.
Well,
it helps to, it's human connection. Human connection. There you go.
Right, and the cliche is we gotta find our common ground or common things, and it's like, yeah, but we also still have to talk about our differences, and we have to accept our differences and agree to disagree. So, and that's fine. And I don't even mind talking to people about, like politics, like you. If you started talking about your theories and beliefs in that, which I know don't necessarily align with mine, that's fine. But I don't want to get you to think like me, and I hope you don't want me to think like you. But what I do want to do is I want to understand.
That would make the world boring.
What?
That would make the world boring if everybody agreed.
Well, it just creates hate. There's just, well, you don't think the way I do. It's tribalism and gang mentality. You don't think the way I do, then fuck you. And it's like, really? I mean, no. Why do you think this way?
Yeah, we all have our reasons for believing the way we do, for thinking the way we do, for having the opinions we do. And
right.
Unless we share them, then there's never going to be a peace.
Well, and we got...
we can agree to disagree on various topics.
Yep.
But we can also create dialogue.
Well, we just got to agree to get along and agree to disagree. And everybody that says racism's got to end and all the segregation's got to end and you're just an asshole because you're a racist, it's like, wait a minute. When you go home, do you go back to, and you're Asian and Chinese or whatever, do you go back to Chinatown? Or do you go back to a predominantly mixed or white, God forbid, community? Or if you're Polish, or Italian, or whatever. People sit there, well, you need to do this and need to accept us and we all got to get together and coexist. As I go back to fucking Polish land or whatever, or Chinatown, because I'm Asian. Well, wait a minute. What are you doing? Or white people can't raise a black child, or black people can't raise a white child. But you got to treat us as an equal.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, it's you got to be able to see past all of that.
We're people. We're all red on the inside. We're different skin colors, just basically because of geographical locations where we lived. It's all it is. And then you got
even where our ancestors came from. We have no control over that.
No, I know. And that's the thing. But the worst thing, in my opinion, you can say to somebody, besides go fuck yourself, is you're a racist. That's the lowest level of just well, it's the way it is because you're racist. That doesn't do anything. You know, as you say, I'm a Latina. It's like, you know, so where did that come from? I'm Latina. Okay, good for you. I don't fucking care. I like Mexican food. And what does that mean? You know, I'm an American. I'm an African American.
It's fine to be.
So
It's fine to be proud of your heritage. I mean, I'm very proud of my heritage.
I know, but you don't.
Which is fairly mixed.
But you don't bring it up because you don't get your way on whatever issue you're talking about, and say, "Well, you don't like me because I'm Native American Indian." I don't fucking introduce myself as that or get in an argument with somebody or discussion. Go, oh, well, you're racist because I'm Native American Indian. They don't even fucking know that,
right?
Yeah. So it's like, well, so what's the point?
Yeah, with the way that everybody's mixed nowadays, there's no telling what's in somebody's heritage.
No.
Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares?
You know, I look at the person, their actions, if they're good to other human beings, if they're good to animals, you know, things like that. I don't care what color your skin is or what your heritage is.
Right.
I find it interesting to learn about that stuff just because it's part of who those people are.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it has no bearing on who they are.
Yeah, listen, I come from the Chicago area, and there's no more diversification in the country except maybe New York than Chicago. So, you know, all that stuff is just, you know, you can try it and use it against me. I raised my kids where they didn't see in color. My granddaughter's half black. You know, my kids don't see in color. I never saw in color. I grew up with people from every diversification. One of my best friends was Mexican when I was a kid. First person I met when I moved in at 7 years old in Streamwood. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. If you keep bringing it up, if you keep bringing it up, and racism is taught, and it's got to quit being taught and used as a weapon, because it's all it is, and it's really bringing everybody down, and it's quite honestly pissing me off. I just leave it alone. Let's learn from each other and agree that we disagree and we're all different, and share our cultures and move on. That's it. Yeah, and that's what this should do, and I hope it does. But the main I hope intentions or goals for this network is to get people to wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Regardless of your color, creed, religion, political view. It's like, listen, we're all in this together, man. If we don't figure it out, we're all fucked. That's it, right? That should be your slogan right there. Put that on the webpage.
That's actually a great slogan.
If we all don't figure this shit out, we're all fucked. That's right. If we don't figure this shit out together, we're all fucked. Welcome to Freedom Revolution Network.
I'm going to have to talk to Alicia.
Oh, I'm sure she'll get a kick out of that one. And she's black, she told me.
Oh, that would be a hell of a task.
She's black. She was sharing some things with me, and she's like, "Man, don't let the black come out of me." And I'm like, "Why are you? No, I said that to her. By the way, she was talking, and I go, "Are you black?" And she goes, "Yeah." I says, "I can tell." Fucking hilarious. Oh my god! And she says something like, "Yeah, the black's coming out of me right now," and I'm like, "Oh, I can tell. I've been around plenty of black people." Fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I grew up around Southern blacks.
Yeah. Well, great.
They are a different freaking breed, man.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Probably just take a Southern person and then turn them black and mix the two. So.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Then you got that Southern mentality on top of it.
Right. Exactly. Right. So. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna let you go. It's been great. It's like 7:36, and I really have to get to work.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. And yeah.
Well, you have a great day at work.
All right, I will, Melissa.
And
thanks.
I'm gonna go deal with tech support.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, and I'll get a hold of you later about the YouTube thing so I can upload the video, because I'm getting sick and tired of our accounts mixing. So.
Okay, yeah, we'll hook up and maybe we can figure out a different way for maybe we can get you to get the video over to me somehow.
Okay. Sounds
We'll figure
great.
it out.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. You have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's it. I'm going to go. Time to make the donuts. I stopped the video. Whatever. Sorry. So, got to go. And thank Melissa for coming in and sharing all that stuff. And, yeah, that's what it's all that's what it's all about. All of us getting along, trying to make you think different and wake the fuck up. And that's why it's called the Original Red Pill Show. But if we don't get our act together and get along and respect our differences, whatever they are, physical, political, creed, color, beliefs, then we're all fucked. And that's going to be our Freedomizer Revolution Network slogan. We better get our shit together or we're all fucked. Thanks for listening to me. Share the show and have a great day. And it's Van Halen Friday. You have been listening to the Original Red Pill Show.